What's going on, guys? We are back in the backyard. Guys, a little bit of overcast today. Kind of can't really see it from this video. But yeah, back here away from the studio. Got some exciting content here in this video, guys. Talking about the robust RB strategy. Should you do it? Should you go robust this year? A lot of people are steering you away from this. They're saying zero RB, meaning don't go running back. And then you'll end up with a guy like Miles Sanders or Cam Akers or J.K. Dobbins, these questionable guys in and around round 4 to 6. Or do you go robust RB, and there's the sun coming out? Do you go robust RB and load up on those workhorse early? What do you do? What is the strategy to do? I'm going to walk through the first 4 rounds and give you a solid strategy that's going to give you a solid foundation moving forward into this 2023 NFL draft. This is a very practical video. It's going to answer a lot of questions. It's a must watch. Robust or bust? That is the question. Let's dive into it. All right, guys, robust or bust? What do you do? Let's dive into it. I'm excited. The energy's here. It is draft weekend for a lot of folks. If you've not got the 16-round draft solution, now is your time to do it. Use code SMASH to save. I've linked it below, guys. 16-round sleepers, breakouts, optimal players, drafting draft, everything you need to crush your leagues, guys. All the answers are there for you guys. Printable cheat sheet, everything. 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below. Use code SMASH. And if you want direct access to me, guys, Patreon group is the place to do it. Patreon.com/FFCounselor. I've linked it below as well. I usually leave a post up there every week, especially before draft weekend, and I answer your questions directly. Guys, I'm so inundated right now. I cannot get to all of the questions on Instagram. It's nearly impossible. You could try leaving some questions here on YouTube, but I can't guarantee I'll get to those as well. But I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can. But the place you want to go is patreon.com/FFCounselor. And for all the answers, so you guys have an optimal roster, grab that 16-round draft solution. All right? So let's talk about this. The early rounds. What do you do? Do you go robust RB? Do you go zero RB? What do you do? That's a big question, and I've got the answer. Okay? Now, first round, I don't care if it's a 2-quarterback league. I don't care if it's a 100-quarterback league. Okay, let's be realistic. There's no 100-quarterback leagues. But a 2-quarterback league or a super flex league, I am still going running back. This position is so scarce. Now, I just ended up doing some coaching calls. Okay, I've been doing coaching calls. If you guys do want these coaching calls, they're basically a 30-minute call. If you want access to me that way, DM me direct on Instagram. I'll get you guys the information on that. So I've been doing these coaching calls. I've been talking to people, and everyone's telling me the same thing. Guys, my feet are on the street. I know what's up. Everybody seems to be hoarding these running backs early, okay? They are hungry for running backs. They're like, yeah, Joe, in my league, everybody's like getting running backs early. They're gone so fast. I'd be lucky to get even Javonte Williams in the 4th round. This is what's happening, guys. Maybe more people are listening to my stuff, but people are aware that this is a scarce position. So I implore you guys to get those running backs early. The Bijan Robinsons, the Saquon Barkleys of the world, the Nick Chubbs. These guys are a rare breed this day as we watch and witness the league change right before our eyes. I mean, we saw what just happened with the New York Jets acquiring Dalvin Cook when they have a workhorse running back, okay? What these guys are doing, which is annoying for us as fantasy people, and that wind is picking up really hard, but I don't care. We're going to power through it here, guys. We're going to have the outdoor elements here as part of the call. So what these teams are doing is they're doing what we're doing. They want to have a backup plan for a backup plan, right? They want to make sure their team is good. So if Breece Hall goes down, these guys still have a true RB1, which doesn't help us as fantasy owners, but helps the real teams. Really crappy. Back to my point. You need to load up on these running backs early because they are few and far between, guys. So round 1, 100% I'm going running back. So I'm looking at a Bijan. I'm looking at a Saquon Barkley. I'm looking at that true workhorse. At the end of round 1, you're looking at a Henry or a Nick Chubb. Round 2, this is where it gets interesting. This is where there's an opportunity for you guys to get a wide receiver here. Now, the wide receivers I like, I'm going to name a couple of them. If you want all of them, get the 60-round draft solution. Garrett Wilson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2 great options here in round 2 if you go running back round 1. Okay? So I'll give you a combo here. Bijan round 1, Garrett Wilson. Now, again, it all depends on how it falls. If you're drafting first, if you're drafting 12th, that's going to vary on the availability of these players. But this is where you can sneak in that wide receiver. If you want to feel warm and fuzzy at wide receiver, you can get them here. Okay? Also, if you want to go running back here, you could do that as well and sneak in a wide receiver round 3. So you can go Bijan, you can go Najee, and then in round 3, you get yourself a wide receiver there, a Chris Olave. a Calvin Ridley who's got upside. Now, some people ask, do I go Olave or Ridley? That is up to you. Now, the only threat right now to Olave is Michael Thomas, but he's had years to wow us when I'm out. But there's a chance. There's just an outside chance. I'll tell you the negatives to both these guys. There's an outside chance that Olave becomes a wide receiver too. I mean, that is very possible with Mike Thomas coming back healthy and being force-fed by Derek Carr. Unlikely, but viable. Could happen. When you look at Calvin Ridley, you are looking at a major upside, big-time ceiling, but you got the risk of maybe is there enough volume going his way. They got tons of options there. They got ATN. They got Bigsby out of the backfield. They've got Christian Kirk. They got other options there. So that could be a concern as well when you're looking at Ridley, and you're looking at a guy who's been off the field for a year or two, okay? So that's the drawback there. So when I look at the situation, you can go running back, wide receiver, or you can go running back, wide receiver, running back. Now, running backs in round 3, it gets a little dicey because I see guys like Jahmyr Gibbs coming off in round 2. Their ADPs continue to go up, and those workhorses are starting to fade, okay? So it started to rain here a little bit on me, even though it's sunny. I remember I went on my honeymoon, and I was in St. Lucia. And the people working on the resort like, liquid sunshine's coming down. And yeah, we're getting a little bit of liquid sunshine coming down because it is a little sunny, a little bit overcast, but getting a couple rain droplets here. All right, so forget about the liquid sunshine. What we need to focus on here is what you're doing. So if you want to go running back, wide receiver, running back, that works. Now, what is robust RB? First of all, I should define that from the beginning. And I put a note at the beginning of this video. Robust RB is getting 3 workhorse running backs who are the top of the depth chart with minimal committees in the first 4 rounds. That's 3 running backs, first 4 rounds. So you're able to do this. Now you can go running back, Garrett Wilson, for example, running back. And so who is available round 4? That's where it gets a little dicey. And like I said, going back to what I first said, a lot of these people are actually going running back early. All these people I'm talking to in these leagues are going running back early. So running backs are few and far between. So maybe a guy like Dameon Pierce, who's typically coming off around 4 to 6, may come off early because people are so hungry for these running backs. So what should you do? Jan, Najee, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jan, Gibbs, and someone else who have, a Dameon Pierce round 3, and then you go round 4 if Ridley falls or someone like that. You could do that. If Ridley doesn't fall, then you're looking at other guys. After you've got 3 running backs, the best available 3 who are on the top of the depth charts with minimal committees, then you look at the wide receivers. Now, there's tons of wide receivers, like tier 2 wide receivers that are on top of the depth chart. The Deontay Johnsons of the world, the Drake Londons of the world, the guys that are coming off there, the Christian Watsons. You can get those guys immediately and stack a bunch of those guys, 2 of those guys, after you've gone the robust RB. So, robust or bust, what do you do? Is it really robust or bust? I'm going to say yes. Let's just say you don't do that. Let's just say you go Devontae Adams round 1 and you go Garrett Wilson round 2. I like Wilson, but I think Adams is going to decline this year. Now, that's a whole other point. I omit these guys that I don't like in the 16-round draft, so if you want to dive in more detailed, okay? But if you go wide receiver, it starts getting really tight, man. Like, there's only like 9 workhorse running backs with no committees, right? I mean, you may get Breece Hall round 3, but again, now he's contending with Dalvin Cook, but he's got a ton of ceiling. By the way, I still think he can be a league winner. I still think Breece Hall can be a league winner, but he is contending, guys, with Dalvin Cook and a messy situation there. So, again, can you go wide receiver? Yes, but it gets dicey. You're gonna have your RB1 may just be J.K. Dobbins, who's contending with Lamar Jackson. I don't trust that situation. Lamar Jackson is a top 10 running back, and he's a quarterback. He puts up top 10 numbers. So this is something you got to ask yourself. Do I want to get my ace wide receivers and then go with questionable running backs, or do I want to get workhorse running backs, anchor my team with those aces, those limited guys, and still get wide receiver 1s, which can finish top 10? There's a ton of guys that could finish top 10 that could break out. There's a ton of rookies that came in that could break out and have good years. Man, I mean, Tank Dell is tearing it up, and he's going literally undrafted. Well, he was after week 1 of preseason. Everyone's riding that train. I've been talking about him since May. Guys, all you need, most leagues have 2 wide receiver slots. You can easily fill that with the value after rounds 4 to 5. So to answer the question, should you go robust RB? Is that the way to go? Absolutely, especially in a league that's really shying away from that workhorse running back and they're becoming more and more scarce. You need to secure that position. And that is my advice to you. Go robust RB, aim high on the depth chart with those running backs early. And then after that, start looking at getting an ace wide receiver and getting those wide receivers after that that are on top of their depth chart. And then you can swing for the fence. And I lay this exactly on how to do this, guys, in the 16-round draft solution where you have a backup plan for a backup plan and you have an optimal roster. Guys, and I cannot express to you how important it is to have those running backs early and check that box, because you don't want to be left in the league with a running back that's questionable, a running back that's in a committee, a running back that gets hurt. Then you have no depth at that position. Then you're messed up, okay? Now, there is like a bunch of mid-round guys I like, late-round guys I like, some sleeper running backs I like as well, all laid out in the 16-round draft solution. I'll see you guys there. Use code SMASH to save. If you want direct access, DM me on Instagram direct, or just join the Patreon group where I do a bunch of posts weekly where I get to those questions over a 24-hour period, where I get to your questions specifically and guarantee you an answer in the Patreon, patreon.com/FFcounselor. But honestly, the 60 round is going to solve a lot of your problems. So, fantasy football running backs 2023, load up early, tons of depth at wide receiver later. You're going to be rock solid. Don't gamble at the most scarce position, which is running back. Robust or bust. Absolutely, that is the truth. Go early, go hard. We'll talk soon, guys. Subscribe, thumbs up, drop some questions below. I'm out.